Welcome back to Lenz's movie review, episode number 105. This time reviewing Robocop 2. Yep, released in 1990. And with the sequel film, we get a new director and a new writer. Oh boy, yes, I can talk about one of the guys who wrote the script for this film. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, the director of this film is Ivan Kircher. If you wonder who wrote the script for this particular film, it's Frank Miller! Yeah, he wrote the script for this film and the second film. And believe it or not, the script that he was going to use for this particular film was actually made into a comic book. Yeah, it's called Frank Miller's Robocop, where it's very typical Frank Miller. Yeah, and I heard some of the stuff they cut out from this film. They used in the second film. And apparently this film became famous for predicting Detroit filed for bankruptcy about 6 years ago. Yes, the real life Detroit filing for bankruptcy. Yes, Detroit. Set like, so they said it's in the near future. So my guess is it's probably been about a year or two since the events of the previous film. They don't say exactly how much time has passed by since the events. So yeah, we also see Detroit's mayor in this film. Oh yes, the mayor, probably by far the comic relief of the film. Yeah, and this guy is probably the most luckiest politician I have ever seen in the movie. Unlike other fictional politicians, he doesn't die. Nope, he actually survives by this. Probably by far he's like I said, he's the luckiest politician. And this one thing is very loud. He's actually a very good mayor, despite the fact he doesn't like OCP at all. Oh yeah, and OCP's plan in order to get himself out of bankruptcy they plan to privatize Detroit to basically take over their frickin' debt. Yes, OCP. Okay. Oh yeah, and the executive appears in this film, the previous film, and the next one. His name is Johnson. Yeah, a black guy. Mhm. Yeah, he appears in. He's one of like three people who appear in like all three of these films. He's not exactly a really big character. In the first film, doesn't exactly play a big role. He's more like a sidekick to Dick Jones, but he's managed to, well, he's not exactly behind everything Dick Jones does. Dick Jones basically all the mess of playing himself. Johnson is more basically a assistant to the old man in this movie. And this is also the last time you see the old man. Yep. After this film, the guy is never seen again. Not in live action, of course. He does return for the comics. Yes, Boom Studios published a comic did feature him. And they actually set the book comic after the first film, and the book does things that the movies never did. Like, for example, having the old man come to the police precinct. He never did this in the film at all. The only time we saw this guy was at OCP, or basically anything related to OCP. Like their headquarters, or like, I think it's his penthouse he was seen in, or it's basically the place they have related on this film. He gets a good amount of screen time in the second film. He's kind of the main antagonist of this film. In a way, even though there's this drug dealer who is part of this cult that basically sells his cocaine. Yeah. There's also this infamous moment in the movie where Robocop is trying to take out a baby is held hostage in this movie. So basically he uses a target sensor to ricochet a bullet off a freezer door down on the guy's forehead. Yep. He does that in this movie. Also, his Spike comes back in this movie, briefly for one scene. Also, if you see this film, you probably noticed Robocop's armor has changed. In the first one, it's this nice, clean silver. This film, it's dark blue. Yeah, as far as I know, there's no explanation of why that the color was changed for. Yeah. Also, and this film is also the last time you see Peter Weller in the suit. Because second film, you think it's him actually in the suit in the second film, but nope, he is nowhere to be seen. Yeah. Also, Ed 209 is this movie. He is seen on TV and he's suffering. He still has his glitches. Yep. They have not figured out the glitching problem when it comes to Ed 209. Yes. They also, in this film, one of the many different plots of this movie, of course, they actually see the cops go on strike in this movie. Yeah, you see the strike going on. Whereas, oh yeah, they cut our pension, they cut our salaries, and we're still getting killed, we're not getting paid for it. Yep, that's what they're on strike for. And Robocop is pretty much pacified in this movie in a way. He's given like 150 protocols, aside from the three main ones he has. He's got a whole boatload of them. Yep. And this becomes a problem for him in the movie. I'm not sure whose brand it was to have Robocop get this stuff. In the film, it's this female doctor who thinks this is a good idea for a good PR move. Like, because Robocop is so violent. One woman said, take away his gun. Really? Why take away his freaking gun? He's Robocop. That's one of the things people know about him is his freaking huge gun. Oh, by the way, does he use the gun when he's under this stupid mode? Yeah. Fires a bunch of bullets in the wall to get a guy to stop smoking. Yeah. Yeah, and the mayor, I should point out the mayor, his two lucky feats. He meets up with a drug dealer to have the drug dealer basically help get Detroit out of its bankruptcy. Quite nice of him, the guy, to do. Yeah, donate his money he basically earned while making drugs to help save the city he lives in. Quite a smart move this guy is. And he's about to take it, and then all of a sudden, these, like, other gang shows up, shoots at the place, King gets nearly killed. The mayor, surprisingly, is able to get away, despite the fact all of his citizens are killed. He's able to escape via the sewer system. Yeah. By the way, this guy does not show up for the sequel. Yeah, he's nowhere to be seen. Probably because the story is privatized at this point. At that point with the sequel. So yeah. They later on have the mayor show up at this conference, which is not at City Hall. Yeah, and the old man is basically asked like this bunch of questions, like no comments. And he's asked this one really good question. Why are you holding this conference here instead of City Hall? And the old man's like, I'll answer that question. Because according to his opinion, he thinks City Hall is a source of corruption when it comes to the actual source of corruption is your own damn company, you idiot. So we have it here. And I mean, despite the fact he's trying to sugarcoat City Hall for basically being a bunch of nonsense, at least is a pretty decent thing. Also, I forgot to mention the previous film that there's a scene in there where you see Robocop's public debut, and he goes into basically a hostage crisis where a former councilman takes a bunch of people hostage. So basically, he wants like a car, one of those new cars that came up with. He wants his job back, and he also wants a raise. Okay, so Robocop goes in, able to take him out, basically pull him through a freaking wall and take him out. Look up these walls, basically look pretty fake, anyways. Otherwise, there was no one to kill the guy. He take him out pretty easily. Yep. And at one point in this particular film, when he's basically off the drug dealers, because this film's all about dealing with drugs. Yeah, and also, believe it or not, Frank Miller makes a cameo in this movie. One of his two known on-screen... Actually, I think it's one of his 3 on-screen cameos he's ever made in a movie. The only film he's made cameos in, he made cameo in the film Daredevil, the guy with the pencil in his neck. Yeah, it's something Bullseye did. He also made a cameo in Sin City. At least Sin City makes sense because it's based on a comic he wrote and drew. Daredevil, that makes a little bit of sense because he did create... Well, technically, he is responsible for giving Daredevil frickin' like the Kingpin as one of his own villains, and he created Elektra. Too bad he never showed for the Netflix series for Daredevil. I know he's right now, but yeah. But yes, Frank Miller shows up in this movie as the guy who makes the frickin' drugs that appear in this movie. Okay? Yeah, and this whole Robocop 2 thing, it's this strange thing. Yeah, this is it right here. That's what the thing looks like in this movie. Yeah, they're trying to figure out like another type of Robocop. The whole point of the Robocop 2 project they call this movie is they want to duplicate the success they had with Robocop 1. Why not turn another cop into Robocop? I mean, it says in the helmet 01, which means he might be the first of a line of Robocops. But as far as I know, he was the only one they created. So they want to duplicate 6 by creating Robocop 2. A lot of them basically turn to be failures. So they create this guy, and instead of using a cop, they use the brain of a freaking drug dealer. Yes, a brain of a drug dealer. Or at least a drug kingpin or whatever. Yeah, Robocop is able to kill this thing by basically finding its brain and smashing it. Yep, that's how he defeats this thing at this other place. The old man gets away. The female doctor is made the scapegoat. And she's not like killed or anything. She just goes off with the old man. She's never seen again. Doesn't show up in the next one at all. I initially thought for some time, even a few times I've seen this film, I thought this was the worst of all the three films. This film is not that bad per se, but a lot of really dumb things they did with this film. But it was also noteworthy for being the first script that Frank Miller ever wrote. He also, of course, he wrote the film, third film as well. I'll talk more about that when I talk about RoboCop 3. What rank can I give this film? I give RoboCop 2 a 8.5 out of 10. That's the ranking I give RoboCop 2. First film was fantastic. Loved the first film. Second film was a bit of a step down because of all the dumb things they do with this particular film. Yeah, and it's also the last, now, of the three main films. The next film has different rating with it. I'll talk about that when I talk about the next review. Okay? Yep, so that's it for this particular review. I have no other videos planned for today. So tomorrow I'll get reviews for Fire Force and just Fire Force, and probably maybe Toshiba Anime review because I'm moving My Hero Academia review to Saturday because the series come back Saturday. Yep, but do this next video. Bye.